Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you for joining me for question number 8. And we're beginning the section of the sort of mock midterm that has a whole lot of limits. Limits for days. Alright, so what can we do? Well, we need to try and remember how limits work. Certainly we need to remember our limit laws. But for a few of these, we're going to have to just sort of think our way through the question. And that's really hard for people to do sometimes. Okay? So we're going to try and go slow. We're going to try and talk it out. Talk out what's going on. So question 8 here. The limit as x approaches 4 from above. So these will only be values of x that are greater than 4. Of ln of x squared minus 16. Now, these values here are all, these functions, ln x squared minus 16, these are continuous. So if we wanted to, we could just try and plug it in. 4 squared minus 16, but that'll be ln of 16 minus 16, or ln of 0, but ln isn't defined at 0. So, unfortunately, we can't just plug in. Sorry about that. Alright, so if we can't just plug in, what am I to do? Well, what I like to do with a question like this, where it's sort of one function with another function stuffed in, is I like to break it down. Okay? These guys are continuous, and sometimes that means that we can just plug things in. But it also means that sometimes we can shift the limits around. And what I really like to do with a composition is I like to say, okay, x is going to 4 from above. What is x squared minus 16 doing? Okay, it's probably going to 0, but is it going to 0 from below? Is it going to 0 from above? Okay, and that sort of thing can really help us out. Alright, so I'll get over to our notepad here. So I want to know about this limit, but it's kind of hard to do all at once. So instead I ask, well, as x goes to 4 from above, what's x squared minus 16 doing? And yes, the answer is it's going to 0. But I can't just plug in 0 here. So instead I have to say, alright, my x values here are always greater than 4. So that tells me that the x squared values are always greater than 16. Square both sides. So that tells me x squared minus 16, yeah, it's going to 0. But it's always going to be above 0. Right? You see how those inequalities work there? We know the x values are always greater than 4. So x squared is always greater than 16. So we're always approaching 0 from above. Okay. So really what's going on, as x goes to 4 from above, x squared minus 16, it's going to 0, but it's going to 0 from above. And now what happens to ln of x squared minus 16? Well, the inside here is going to 0 from above, and we might remember ln has a limit as h approaches 0 from above, negative infinity. Okay? And so that's going to be our final answer. Sorry, there shouldn't be an equal sign here. Infinity is not a number, which is why we can't just plug things in. The equal sign should be over here. But x goes to 4 from above. We were able to use our reasoning skills to show that x squared minus 16 is going to 0 from above. And so ln of that is heading to negative infinity. And that would be the answer that I put, and that's going to be C, right in the middle. All right. Up next will be another limit question, question 19. I'll see you there.